Most people see things worse than it is. Why? Someone tell me, why do people make things worse than they are? Why? Yes, because they're afraid of failure. Who here would hate to fail? If you could avoid it, you would do it. Say I. So the bottom line is most people are afraid to fail, so they make things worse than it is. Oh, it'll never work. The economy's terrible. That only works for other people. That's impossible. People say to me sometimes, I'm pessimistic. I'm skeptical. I say, no, let's be honest. You're gutless. What? Yeah, you're gutless because it doesn't take any guts to think of the worst scenario. Get your hopes up because they may get disappointed initially. And disappointment either destroys you or drives you. You've got to decide which. Me? They said, well, we'd love to do a study. Do you have any medical studies? I said, no, I don't, but I got, millions of clients around the world in 195 countries. They said, well, but I mean like data. Well, what would you do? They said, well, we do a study on depression. I said, awesome. Tell me what's the overall, they're called meta-studies, what's the overall result when you get traditional treatment for depression? Because it's gone through the roof since COVID, by the way, especially with young people. Many young people don't even want to have children. They think the end of the world's coming because the whole world's going to break down, our ecology, our environment. It's all bullshit. It's not that there aren't problems, but the world isn't going to end. Trust me, the world's going to do fine. You may not be around, but the world will be around. It'll be a good place. The point is simple. All this fear that's built up in people, all this uncertainty keeps people from taking any form of action. And I said, so tell me what the studies are. And they said, well, the studies are that 60% of the people who seek treatment make no improvement. Did you know that? On average, that's across meta-studies. 60% make no improvement after doing drugs and therapy. 40% improve. On average, 50% improvement, which means they're half as depressed as they were after taking all this medication and doing all this therapy. I said, we should be able to crush those numbers. I said, what's the best thing you've ever done? The best study in history? Best one was done 3.5 years ago at Johns Hopkins University in the United States. They treated people with depression with psilocybin, a hallucinogenic. Some of you look like you're familiar with it. I see some of you nodding with a smile. I understand you. Magic mushrooms. Thank you, sir. Clearly it's something you've experienced, I can tell. They did magic mushrooms for a month and cognitive therapy for a month. I said, you should have gotten some change out of that shit. It's also illegal. And they did. They got the greatest reaction in psychological history. After 6 weeks after treatment, 54% of the people had no symptoms whatsoever of depression. Pretty amazing.